Dota 2, make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO, guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with Day 2, second match up of the Starladder I-League Star Series Season 3. Bit of a mouthful. I am going to be joined today by Harry, and how you doing?
You know what, Tom? I am incredibly excited, not just because it's me and you being reunited again, but because, you know, we have two fantastic teams to go head-to-head, Pride versus ex-DarkPassage, which is a bit of a mouthful. But,
maybe ex-DP?
Yeah, ex-D. I don't know about that one, actually. That.
Why? What? I don't know any other pronunciation of DP or what it could possibly mean. I'm a innocent mind.
Well, I mean, I guess we can. In all fairness, you know, we'll go with ex-DP for the time being. But I mean, the other reason I'm excited, Tom, I don't know if this is something you want me to be saying yet. I don't know if you've already shown what the vetoes are, but I'm also
should I do that now?
Because,
should I time it?
Our exciting map pool. Yeah, let's get this transition in. There we go. Bam. That's production value right there.
Boom. Right, so obviously we can go through the bans a little bit. I'm actually a little bit surprised more by DP's pick than anything. Because they've got rid of Train, not that surprising. Mirage was something they were they were pretty good at. I didn't think they were a bad team in it. Saw them at WSG. Had a very good fight on this map, playing, I think it was Bravado, the South African team. I think they did lose in overtime, but again, very close. But I think the reason why, another WSG thing I can bring in, they actually took Virtus Pro to overtime on Nuke.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty insane. Yeah, taking a team like VP, the team that made it, you know, through into the finals of the major, playing head-to-head against Astralis, taking them through to overtime. Granted, they didn't get the win, but, you know, still, that's a feat in and of itself. That's nothing you could ever possibly, you know, say is a bad result. And, you know, I think it is going to be fairly testing. The one that kind of surprises me and the one that excites me the most... Well, actually, there's just two. You know, both picks are a little bit exciting, at least. I mean, you got Inferno, literally just been added. Haven't even seen it. I mean, there probably have been some, so maybe that's just me not watching.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it played yet. I mean, I know
I
has been
seen
some
it either. So
I'm
quite surprised. This is my first.
And yeah,
they're popping the cherry. You know, this is the first Inferno, or first of the new Inferno that's going to be coming in, and I'm really, really excited to see if they've come up with something, or if this was just Pride going, okay, guys, we don't really know what to do here.
Yeah, exactly, right.
We're a bit down in the dumps, so let's go with Inferno. They'll never see it coming. And to be fair, I don't think they did. I wouldn't. Obviously, it's been around for a little bit. There've been some tweaks, there've been some improvements, but it's not been in competitive play. I think some tournament, is it ESL Pro League? They sort of did, okay, we'll leave it a week and then we'll add it in. I don't think many tournaments have just gone, yep, straight in. Starladder obviously just let's just do it.
Well,
just do it.
I mean, that's the thing, right? I think the reason why a lot of teams are giving a little bit of time is because, you know, a lot of the old strategies might work, but a lot of the old smokes no longer work because of changes to do with the skybox, because of, you know, just to do with the scenery as well. A lot of things don't work the same. So a lot of tournament organizers have said, okay, let's not bring this change in straight away. We'll keep playing with D2. Just for the next week or so, and then we'll make the transition of bringing in Inferno. And it's really kind of interesting to me, the fact that Starladder, you know, they just go, you know what, it's in, done.
Yeah,
we
I
respect you, Valve.
Rip off that Band-Aid.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, they're sending in teams naked, no preparation, confused. But I think it's going to be interesting to see. And, you know, it might, like I said, I haven't seen any matches going on this yet. Who knows? This could actually be the first game between, you know, two professional teams going ahead on Inferno, just because a lot of these tournament organizers haven't switched over yet. The other pick as well that surprises me, but also excites me, is going to be Nuke. For you, Tom, you've been quite lucky. I don't know how much you've seen of Nuke over the last
Oh, I've
week or
seen
so.
quite a bit. I've seen quite a bit of nuke, but not. Oh, in the last
I've-
week, only watching. I've only done. I didn't do it yesterday, so
See, I've done 11 games of nuke, Tom.
this
That's
week.
11 this week, 11 hours of nuke. Because of how ESCA works.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, exactly. So this is hour number 12 of nuke, guys. But if I can say one thing, it's that I am a bloody professional at nuke now. Okay. So yeah, I mean, coming into it, there's gonna be a lot we can talk about. Also, then you've got the decider, which is going to be cash. That's kind of a little bit more normal. Usually you see the more routine maps come up in the picks, and then it's the weird one in the left is the decider. This time around, it's going to be the usual rotationary kind of map. The left in is the decider, and 2 odd picks to kick us off. But Tom, should we speak a little bit about the teams? We've had our discussion about the maps. There's a lot we can say about these 2 names as well.
Well, yeah, the thing about, I think the team we need to talk about more is the Pride side of things. Now, obviously, we've seen a lot of sort of shuffles in terms of one Polish team. Obviously, Virtus.pro don't do shuffles. It doesn't happen. It's been a very long time since they brought anyone in. But the Pride has sort of gained a little bit from it, I guess. They managed to pick up Maniz, who I think is a very good player. Obviously, when you look at that sort of Kingwin team, I don't think he was one of the ones they should have kept. I think they did the right thing, and the team has looked good because of it. But picking him up definitely, I think, is a good thing. The only problem is when you look at the sort of rest of, I don't know, I think they got rid of Repo as well, and they've brought in Luz. I really don't know much about Luz at all. He could be an absolute star in the making, or he could just be someone, okay, we clashed a little bit, let's try and bring this guy in as maybe a bit more of a support. The only problem with that is, it means that maps, for example, Inferno, which they've actually picked, so I'm guessing they must have something planned, it's all about that sort of chemistry, and I don't think that chemistry could have been built up yet. I don't think there's any way. They haven't played that many maps. The teams they have played, well, it's varied rapidly. Obviously, they did play against G2. I think that was the new G2, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, that was actually the old iteration of G2. And I think they did well on Cobble, but they got stomped on Nuke. But then again, that's Nuke against G2. They are sort of that very talented lineup. Well, they were. This is a different one, which is arguably even more talented. The other teams they played against, Rushed, I don't know too much about them. I think they actually lost. Well, they lost that match. So it's a little bit worrying for them going into this one. And the other thing, not talking about rosters, it's in the last 3 months, at least, they haven't played very much, and they haven't played Cash at all.
Yeah, exactly. And, that is something I was going to talk about. They really haven't been playing all that much whatsoever. When they have played as well on the maps that have come up, they haven't, fared particularly well. Nuke not doing so hot on. So, going to be interesting to see how that pans out. And we have no information for Inferno for either of these guys. So that's just kind of one that's a little bit up in the air. And I mean, yeah, exactly. I think that's going to be an issue for both of these teams. Both of them kind of not really getting to play as much as you'd like. I believe I can't remember if Pride are in Premier, but I'm fairly certain that ex-DarkPassage are, because they were last season. I don't think they got relegated. I'm fairly sure they did quite well. So I think leading into this, I know I have a little bit more I can say about them. I've always been a huge fan of the Turkish teams, but I also, like you say, I mean, looking at it, you have Maniz, who I think is fantastic. I have a huge soft spot for him on Pride. And he's kind of drawn me into the roster a little bit more, wanting to see, what exactly they are capable of, because I haven't really had a chance to see them in action. I've seen certainly the map statistics and how they've done overall. And I think, they're a team with a lot of potential. It's just like, it comes back to that issue of what you said. They haven't had enough time to kind of gel and work things out ever since making these changes.
I'm going to do something dangerous and bring up this roster screen. Now, I want to apologize formally for the fact that I don't think all of the pictures are there, which is correct. But it just, I think it's a bit more fitting than what we're actually talking about. We can actually look at some of the players' faces. We have Maniz, so we have your boy Maniz at least, and we do have the full ex-DarkPassage roster. And you've spoken more focusing on the sort of Maniz side of things. I do really like this Turkish team. The fact that they actually have an X next to their name and don't have a new sponsor. I was saying this yesterday. I'll say it today. If there's anybody with a lot of money in the chat, pick these guys up. They are very, very good. They are also very, very young. The oldest player on this team is 21 years old. I think Calix may only be 18, and is it Mini is only 17 years old. just absolutely ridiculous. I am 22. I am terrible at video games. These guys are 5 years younger than me, and it pains me because they're doing a lot better than I ever will. But I'm just impressed by this roster. Woxic as well. Great Orpa had some really good performances yesterday. Overpass was a very, very close game when we watched up against Epsilon. Can't really say the same about Cobble. They did have Draken going ham, so when Draken's going ham, it's very difficult to play against. Mini as well, 17 joining this team. Oh, I think going onto the B site on Overpass, absolutely phenomenal at getting entry kills. He was getting, like, just running onto the site, getting 2 headshots, and that was a round changer. I think there were a couple of rounds where it was going, okay, there's only 10 seconds left. There's no way they're going to win this. And then he would just go, 2 headshots done, and it's just like, what? I don't even know too much about this kid, but he really is good, and I think this roster could do very, very well. Obviously, there's only really, in terms of, well, roster changes, that's where it becomes a little bit difficult for the sort of Turkish side of things, because you do have the idea of you've got Space Soldiers, you've got DarkPassage, and then if you go, okay, what's the third best team in Turkey? You go, I don't know. It's just one of those things. They don't have a huge map pool or huge talent pool. The other thing as well is playing online matches is always very, very difficult when it comes up to these Turkish teams, because just of infrastructure, which is unfortunate. I wonder if the pings are going to be all right today. They're actually not too bad. I don't think it's going to be, playing too much of a part. At least I hope it is. But I have been told we are literally just a minute or so away from the knife round up and coming. So, do I do this? Do I do this to you? Yeah, I think I will. Harry, what's your prediction?
Well, just quickly, one thing I do want to say before I give my prediction, even though we're starting very, very soon, is, I'm not going to be having chat open throughout the whole thing. Obviously, we don't really interact with it ever, seeing as we're not meant to. But I had to have it open then to see what you're speaking about, obviously, because we do lack that instant production value for, me to not just look at the stream. But one thing that was very funny, everyone's saying that the blacked out guys were unlockable characters. And that is very true. So well done to you guys in the chat. You officially made me have a good time, at least. My prediction is I think DarkPassage are going to take it. I think they have the more experience together as a team. I think they're doing phenomenal work, and they did last season as well in Premier from what I've seen. They have some guys in who I just love. The likes of Woxic and Calyx in particular, kind of my dynamic duo. So I'm going to put my money on them.
Yep, I'm actually with you for this. I think DarkPassage did look strong yesterday. I think they got a little bit down in the dumps on Cobble, but we will not see that one today. And the only thing is, I just think Inferno is just going to be a sort of shot in the dark. I don't really know where that is going to go. It depends on how well they've practiced. Also, just, like, although they've changed the map, I do think it's been improved. There's still one of those things where you have to talk about, like, the map hasn't, like, drastically changed. Yes, they've opened up Banana, they've changed a few positions on the map, added a few boxes and such, but it's still Inferno. If you were good at the old one, you're probably going to be pretty good at the new one. I think we know, well, I'm very excited for Fnatic to get onto that map. Like, Olaf Krim's back on that B site where they belong. Maybe the King of Banana and Freiburg can even come back and show us how to do the new one. Either way, we are in, and go on, Harry, take away the pistol.
Yeah, so we're only seeing Pride over on that T side. They're going to look at slow things down as they do send a couple of guys over towards Squeaky. They break the class up on top, so it wouldn't surprise me if you see a little bit of utility usage on behalf of Luz to come raining in from there. But for the time being, they are just going to be looking to try and take things slowly. They're waiting to see if the XDP side want to try and get aggressive, try and peek on out for information. And Sasuke, well, he's actually heading towards outside. He's going to be undetected for the time being, and Luz needs to watch the hell out because he could swiftly lose a head here. He's going to get tagged down low, but still manages to escape with his life. They will over delay that utility raining into the site, and that might pay off here for ex-DarkPassage. You can see Mini pushes on through, but the timing couldn't be worse. It's going to allow Pride to make it down through vents and in towards that B site.
That's my strat. I love that strat. Just running straight down the vents at the beginning of the pistol round. It is going to be Maniz, though, to find the first kill. It's been a long time coming. The bomb will go down. Suzuki is there to trade, but they have got that bomb onto the B site. Reitz will actually hit the dink onto Calyx through the window, but he's being pushed from many, many angles. The only thing is there's quite a lot of good afterplants for the T side at the moment. Reitz with another headshot, but Suzuki, he's got a knife. The bomb will be denied. And back into a 2v2. Make that a 2v1.
Yeah, Calyx falls onto the side, wants to try and go aggressive. He can't escape the grasp of Morel's up close. Speaking of escape, Tom, click escape. Show the health bars, boy.
No one saw that. I'm not doing production. Blame
Did you guys like the linking there? I think that was good. Yeah, but anyway, that pistol round gonna be going the way of Pride, and that is so important here on Nuke. Picking up that pistol and now securing the respective anti-ecos as well. Getting those 3 rounds for free, essentially, providing they don't lose to ex-DarkPassage now, is a huge boost to you if you're on that T side, because it's harder to get the rounds anyway. Getting 3 for free on the back of the pistol makes your job that much easier to kind of reach 5 or 6, which is where you want to be.
I'm interested by the fact that, so we've seen a force, but Suzuki has kept all of the money he made. Yes, he's bought a Deagle, but he's keeping, what, 2,600 in the bank? So maybe an early AWP will come in for the CT side push. Well, they're getting minced at the moment. Just absolutely destroyed by the AKs. A very safe buy that's come in from Pride, and, well, an SMG will get a kill in the end, but very cleanly done, making their money based off just keeping everyone alive.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they're giving a lot of respect the way of ex-DarkPassage. That's kind of what you'd expect coming into this. Is, you know, I'd say it's a fairly equal matchup. Maybe Pride being the underdogs a little bit, but, you know, we can't really say too much. We haven't really seen these teams play like that, you know, too greatly, especially with kind of the roster changes that have been going on. So, you know, they're playing it safe. They just decide to go full on AKs. You do have Luz on that UMP, but other than that, that's going to be it. They rely on keeping 5 alive to try and keep money in the bank. This time, Morel's outside, able to find one of the Calyx. This should be a quick mop-up round as he's able to find himself a second. Woxic, though, wants to make it a little bit costly as he just shreds through the cranium there. Luz looking to farm up some cash with the UMP. Able to get that trade back on Sasuke. Now it's all on Woxic. He's already found 1 frag with this deadly P250. And he's looking to try and hide. Wants to make this round a little bit more expensive before all is said and done.
It's going to be just spamming the walls? I don't know, P250 wall bang? I feel like that'd be very impressive. Maybe just making a little bit of noise, trying to get them to come to him. Obviously, no real reason for anybody on the Pride roster to actually do that. He has a P250, he has no armor. If he saves that into the next round, who cares? They've got AKs to lose, so definitely not worth anything. Reeds turns around at the prime time, and, well, that will be 3, well, very clean rounds, in fact. For the Pride side, we're going to look towards that AWP, though. That's going to come straight in for Woxic. Rifle will be dropped, and for an early round buy, that knife has definitely sort of boosted the economy of that CT side.
See, I tell you what, right? I came into this really liking DarkPassage, but then I look at Mako, and his name isn't Mako. It's that annoying face with the tongue out, and suddenly I'm like, you know, you're making things awkward for us, and now I'm not sure if I do want you to win. But anyway, as we keep on going, we can see Woxic finally going to have that AWP in his hands, and he's someone who can completely change the flow of the game just by having the AWP. So let's see if that's going to make a difference in towards this round. It looks like it might, as Pride decide to vote their attention towards outside. Woxic going to post up. He does get smoked on back. Mini breaks through. Squeaky able to do a lot of damage out of Sasuke. He can't quite find the frag. It's Mini making his way through Secret to find the first. Dropping out Reeds. It's going to help grab outside control back. But Pride, they've already pushed on through their own smokes. They're trying to grab control of hell.
Nice shot from Woxic, and they're being pincered in at the moment. A lot of damage being done. Well, now there's only 1 man left in the form of Maniz, someone we highlighted towards the beginning, but this is a pretty much impossible situation. And that was a nice reposition from Woxic. He was very quick to just maneuver himself back to an upper angle where those smokes no longer affected him, not offended him. I don't care if they offend him. Maniz, though, okay, he's going to do a little bit of damage. Obviously, the CT's only winning possibly 1 round. Maybe he can bring it back, but there is Woxic to finish things off. And even dropping a couple of players, it's definitely going to help them keep that economy low. And if you look at the money currently on the Pride side, they got plenty of cash to spare.
Yeah, they have got plenty of money between them. Enough so, actually, despite buying down the AWP, they should be able to get a force up next round, even if they lose this one with relative ease. I mean, you know, you have, what, 4 out of 5 players who can afford to buy. You might be able to see a drop come out from Luz, depending on if they get that bomb down. So, money not going to be an issue just yet for that T side, whereas ex-DarkPassage find themselves within the realms of a reset if they lose this one. And well, already Sasuke is aggressive outside. He's going to pay the price with his life as he gets dropped out of the equation relatively early on. It's going to help allowing them down into towards Secret. And then, oh, Mini just offers himself up to Manish. The players with similar names end up cancelling each other out there, and that's going to now put it into a 5-on-3. The man advantage very much favoring Pride, and it looks like they want to try and make something happen. over here towards, I'm going to say A, judging by the fact they have got that player posted up outside. 3 players over there, but they could very easily head down ramp. That's the strong thing about outside control. They can go anywhere here and split onto it.
I am liking the fact that they're not rushing anything, though. They have full control of outside, just from the push that's currently come in. There's not really anybody maneuvering themselves around over on the CT side. They're just waiting, sort of hoping for something. Obviously, Pride really kind of hoping that the CTs will go aggressive and they can catch somebody else out. But at this point in time, it's not really going that way. Calyx will get one, but they've actually just pincered back onto the A side. Now it's only Woxic with the AWP to try and bring something back. He's going to get one. That's a lovely shot to open things up. And actually, another comes in for Maker. This is looking a little bit more possible. I am liking this from Morels, though. This is sneaky. Going all the way around the back. He may be able to get behind this AWP, and there's very little that can actually be done. He is the last man left alive. He's only got 13 HP, but will they expect him to come from this angle? It doesn't look like it, but he gets spotted. Maker will hit the shot, and the CT's retaking, what was that, 4v2?
Yeah, no, it was. And, you know, it's all going to come down to Mako. 3 very, very impressive frags. It was lucky as well that that long rotate coming in from behind actually came in from Mako there. So, you know, you wouldn't have had the Heaven play be spotted out. Luckily enough, he kind of came in, caught him just at the right angle, and then thanks to made tag down so low, it's a nice easy frag. It's going to be 2-3, but Pride, like we were saying last round, they have so much money stacked on up, they can't afford to buy down regardless. So we'll be AKs once again across the board. This time, change of paces. It looks like they want to go rushing over towards ramp. Flash going to go in just to delay that, but there's Morels to find the first. They lose Woxic towards outside, and already they've had to rotate a play around. You could also see Mini having to watch outside now. They have to be very cautious, and look at how much that one frag has crippled their defense. You've got Sasuke now who's had to push down through B to make his way up towards Secret. Mini as well having to watch out. But now they're pushing towards ramp. It's going to be frags back and forth, leaving it at 2-1-2. You can see Sasuke and Calyx. Calyx is tagged down low. But still, I mean, they do have ramp control. They'll be making their way on down. There's still a minute left. They've got plenty of time to play around with here. They've got bomb. No pressure for this side of Pride just yet. Calyx might be tagged down low, but he's still in a fighting fit position, watching towards outside, waiting to see if they try and peek in towards Heaven. He's going to be the player to try and get the information on that. And I don't know if they're going to see this one coming. He's falling all the way back in towards CT just to watch that ladder. Going to be getting up on top of the forklift here. And, well, it's going to be Morels or Reitz to go first. They do check it. And Calyx, he was tagged so low. It's going to be a nice, easy shot for them there. Now it's all on Sasuke having to rotate on up from that B site. Bomb's going to be going down as well. And as long as they trade into this, it should be around for Pride here. But, you know, you can never count Sasuke out.
And it's a scary position to be in as well. If they lose this round, the reset will be in for the CT side. A lot of pressure going to be on the shoulders of one man. He is going to go peeking into the site. If he can catch Morels, there's a chance, but, well, no chance. Loses his head straight away. And Pride now on 4, and this is still a pretty CT-sided nuke. It hasn't really changed that much, although the devs may have tried. A good start for Pride.
Yeah, I mean, you know, whenever people do kind of speak about their changes, I feel like, you know, it was one of these maps where I kind of felt like 11-4 wasn't that bad. Now I'd say you could definitely pull yourself a 9-6. It does, of course, depend though on like the caliber of teams they're playing. But I think, you know, Pride shooting for kind of 6 rounds isn't going to be too bad. They're only 2 rounds off for it, and they should be able to pick this one up. DarkPassage going to be going aggressive towards outside. Morels wants to try and pad his stats a little bit, but Calyx not going to let that happen. They're actually making this work. Oh, there we go. Mini's on 2 now. Last having to rotate on in to try and get this refrag, but he's going to get caught out in the open. He's going to fall as well. And this is such an expensive round here for Pride. It's all on Mini.
Oh!
So for the peak, but Mini gets himself 3.
What just happened?
They shouldn't have won that one.
An aggressive push outside, and somehow they've turned around out of absolutely nothing, saved themselves what could have been, what, 6 rounds already on the board for Pride? And instead, they get an extra buy coming in, and an AK to boot. Mini, this 17-year-old boy, I'm going to say boy, has just absolutely ruined their day. And now, well, DP, they have themselves a good chance to get rolling. Pistols only on the board, but Morels has other ideas.
Yeah, he's looking to find that sleek 1D, and he does so. Woxic going to go down towards outside. Mini and the team, though, look at how aggressive they've gone. They realize, guys, the aggression worked flawlessly last time. Let's try and replicate this. And they've pushed on in. Calix and Mako as well are going to be going very aggressive. Sasuke now making his way up towards Heaven, wants to try and check outside, but it might be too late, buddy. It's kind of already infested with guys from Pride. But oh my god, look at this push from Mako. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. I didn't even know he was there. He's going to get 3. The silencer coming up trumps. Reads at close range with a PT-50. Wants to try and do some economic damage. Look at Manise. He's spied out one. What is this round? What is happening? They have to try and deal with Manise now. He's in a potential spot to try and wreak some havoc because he does find himself an M4, trying to push towards outside. Mini is here. The crossfire going to be set up as well between him and Mako. I don't think they know that Manise has crossed. He's about to get 1, but that is going to be it as they do mop it up. However, losing 3 people on the side of DarkPassage to a relatively cheap investment from Pride does sacrifice the economy a bit. 4-4.
Yeah, no, for a few pistols invested, no armor at all. Losing 3 players is a brilliant round for Pride, but a little bit scary for DP. One of the good things about this... What? Mini just knifed his teammate twice down to 40 HP. What is this? That's already ridiculous. There's so many just silly things that are coming in at the moment, and that's not something you can...
Confirmed roster change
Yeah,
due to
yeah.
struggles, maybe?
What on earth just happened at the beginning of that round? That is not a good start, and this is a buy now coming in for Pride. They didn't force in the last round, and they've already got themselves a nice little advantage going into this one. Yes, Exus doesn't have himself anything, but I just don't know what just happened. To knife someone once, okay, but if you knife them twice, I don't even know how you managed to do that. Either way, push onto A.
Please, mouse stuck. They're going to be pushing on out. Let's see if, despite the crippled DarkPassage, how they can try and honor this. Calix going to find 2. And oh my god, they're not checking him. He's going to get 3 finally. Down with him. Speaking of knife, what's going on? These guys, they must...
What is going on?
Because
this
they
round?
want these knives just spreading all over them. And well, it is going to be a 2-on-3. You can see Manise is tagged down low as a result of that knife, because apparently that's all DarkPassage are trained to use for the time being. Calix, the only guy who's going to be taking up arms with a weapon, has already been dropped out. The rest of the guys relegated down to nothing more than, knives and spears, apparently, up against Pride.
I'm actually just lost at this point in time. Mako may have just thrown this round away. Exus is above. His team aim's behind him. They've only got 15 seconds to make their move. He's going to go pushing in. He's trying to be that bait, but it's actually Manise who gets taken down. The pistol will get 1. But somehow, even with the ridiculous amount of mistakes that DarkPassage just made, they're actually going to pull out that round. I'm in shock. I'm actually in shock.
I don't know. Is there perhaps alcohol flowing in the ex-DarkPassage gaming house? I mean, are they getting evicted, seeing as now they're ex-DarkPassage and they just figured, let's go out on a party? Like, what's going on here? They're having fun, though, and, that is when teams are most deadly. NIP, they always used to be kind of laughing, having a good time, and that was them at their high point. Ever since they've tilted, been making soundtracks every day, they've kind of dropped off, and who knows, maybe this is the secret here. You can't already see that you've lost Manise early on. Last to get 1 refrag, he peeks out wide, nearly finds himself a second, gonna be tagging down Mini low, but he's still a huge threat. He's on 2 and now he's on 3. That's the oh baby, a triple for Mini, sorry.
Manise. Close enough.
He takes it to a 6-4 scoreline for ex-DarkPassage.
Oh, we also have the nickname coming in.
Finally!
Thank you. Oh god. This is an interesting game. I'm gonna go back to interesting because that's a way of saying weird without actually just insulting all of the players. Either way, it is gonna be a buy coming back up for both teams. The T's obviously on 4 rounds, actually 4 rounds in a row for ex-DarkPassage. Quite surprising considering how some of these rounds have actually gone, but it's fine by me. They're winning rounds. That's what's important, right? It's all about the W. Woxic. Go for the early peek. Doesn't manage to find anyone as of yet. Still going to go and try and re-peek from a passive angle, but we've already seen a little bit of a crossover towards red. I think he actually may have hit a tag. Reeks is only on 35 HP.
Now already a lot of damage done over to the side of Pride. Woxic, he's still locking down outside here. Hasn't been smoked off just yet, and as a result, he's still going to be a huge threat. 3 players are positioned just on the other side of this box. He's getting out for another peek. He wants to try and find one. But if he's not careful, he might get caught off guard by Manise, who is out there with an AWP of his own. looking to try and lock things down. They want to split out on towards A here. They've got Exus watching the flank. Reed's now going to be rejoining the rest of his team, and they're going to be sending in a few players through Mini. Not to be confused, that's not through the ex-DarkPassage player. That would be gruesome. No, it's through the small hut outside that is with the call out the same name, sadly. Instead, they're going to be going over towards ramp. Mako has to try and lock this down. He has changed his name though. That's going to give him 100% more damage because he's not being an annoyance. And here we go, going to find one. But that's going to be it as the trade does come through swift. Sasuke next to fall, going to be put back in a 3-on-2 very, very quickly. Exus is going to get dropped, but that is going to be it. They make their way in towards the B site. There is already Mini over towards Vents, and he could lock down the site potentially. He's the linchpin here, going to find one, and Alaz falls back for the time being, waits for his teammate. And there's Mini's trying to get that peek and trying to get a little bit aggro.
Oh no!
With his life, and look at the mop up.
Alex almost whiffed that one. Really nice positioning from Mini. I'm really enjoying watching him play, actually. So, obviously, not been around a huge amount of time. He's currently 13-6. And that was just really smart play. Picks up one, falls back, waits for a player to push towards him, gets the second kill as well. Pretty much sets it up for Calyx to do the damage. Almost mucks up, but almost. It's fine. Everything's fine. Ex-DarkPassage, they get themselves to 7. Still going to be a buy on the board, though, for Pride. And even with all the damage they've been doing, they still have that sort of loss bonus building up behind them as well. And if they can get to that sort of 6-round marker, we're not going to be too worried about them over on that CT side.
You know, I mean, I'm surprised the ex-DarkPassage doing this well, if you want the honest truth. You know, I wouldn't be playing well up against Pride, let alone, you know, because they're a good team. But also, I'm constantly worried that Mini, my own teammate, is going to just shoot me in the back of the head.
And Mako will go for a knife.
Yeah, I feel like maybe that's why we're seeing Sasuke only on 3 frags right now. You know, he's just constantly scared that the rogue Mini is going to drop him. But yeah, for the time being, only seeing Pride, they try focusing their attention towards outside once again. Woxic, though, wants to try and punish them for it, and he's going to be able to find the first down of Morales. Goes for the repick, and oh, a nice flick onto Luz. He's still in his position, still trying to lock it down for the time being. And then Sasuke rotates on round to help out. Going to be able to get one. Look at this flank from Mini. They combine and drop Exits. And that is going to be an 8th round for DarkPassage here, triumphantly holding down outside.
And importantly now, they actually have a little bit of money saved up as well. So I do think they have stabilized a little bit from what looked like some early round shenanigans. And that was actually a very clean round for them. AWP of Woxic has woken up a bit too, finding the picks outside, which it just makes things very, very difficult. If you have an AWP hitting his shots, you can't really go too far on the map without a load of smokes. In this round, at least, we've only got pistols. Not really expecting too much, but you can get very close and personal when hitting over towards that A site.
Yeah, I mean, look at them. There is a lot of guys on the other side of that door. Mini has to try and hold on to the A site here. He's going to be the first player to make contact. The glass smashes. It startles him a little bit, but they don't check the angle. They're going to get one, gets 2. Looking for the 3rd, and oh my god, there's Mini. He shuts down this eco push. Hardly any damage done. Morelso looking to try and make it costly. He's able to find 2. Looking for a 3rd, but Mini wants to cement that 4th frag. That's going to be DarkPassage picking up a 9th round. And I mean, normally, you know, we look to the T side to be the ones making the explosive entries. Instead, it was Mini.
Yeah, again, looking solid. 17-6 at the moment. And, well, they get themselves up to that magic number 9. But there will be a buy coming back up for Pride. They've got themselves full utility. They've got themselves the AKs. Obviously, it's been quite a few rounds in a row. After such a good start, Pride have gone a bit quiet. And unfortunately, it is starting to look a little bit more like, okay, they won the pistol, then they got a sort of round in the middle. They need to get another round. It won't quite be enough, and I'm a little bit worried as well about this sort of CT side, just because this map really revolves around team play, sort of maneuverability, playing off of each other, something that I don't know if this team will have been able to develop yet, because there's quite a few new members in there.
Yeah, that is something that we spoke about earlier on, and I do think, you know, nuke is one of these ones where you do need it. That's Gaze. Little cap there sticking up above the stairs is going to be the reason that he gets taken out. Woxic quick to equalize things back into a 4-on-4. The rest of Pride, though, pushing in towards that B site. You can see the rotate coming on through. Woxic playing this very well, though. He hears that singular footstep from Manise, and it's able to eliminate him as well over towards B ramp. That's going to be one of the prongs of this 2-pronged split into the B site. Eliminated and guillotined early on. Mini's already rotated on through as well, and he's in a very good position to shut this down. They can't get the bomb down with him here. Ultimately, this site's already completely surrounded. They're not going to see this coming. He finds one, but that's going to be it. Doesn't account for Exis.
Well, he's actually going to pick up a second as well, bringing this back to a 2 versus 2. They do have a sort of pincer on the site at the moment. Mako in a great position. It's more down to Morels, but both players are now, well, very well known on their positions, and this leaves one left. Woxic will peek out and find his third kill of the round. Nice retake in the end from DarkPassage, and well, Pride hoping to try and get this last round on the board. At 11-4, it's not impossible to come back from, to say the least, but... Ooh, hello. P90 last round. You got 9,700, 8,300. This is a tactical decision from Calyx.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know...
I'm gonna go P90 cam, I think, for this one. Where's this going? I want to follow him.
I think he's gonna look... It's kind of obvious they're not taking it too seriously. It's Calyx. Well, he's just gonna go in guns blazing, pushing in on his own, finds the first, and no one sees this coming. X is shutting it down. He says this is not Silver 3 matchmaking. This is a pro game. But then Mako to refrag. What the hell is going on? Mako finds 3, and now it's 1 Reeds. And he's going to get beat up close and personal. 11-4 as DarkPassage. They cement themselves a ridiculously strong CT side half. And I think Pride should be extremely worried at this point.
Yeah, well, just the way they started playing as well. Like, that aggression in that last round was almost like, okay, we've got them down, let's kick them while they're down. That was ridiculous. Just all of the team went aggressive. Calyx was up there first with the P90, just like, okay, let's play with them a little bit. And then Mako just went in and goes, okay, Calyx, you've had your fun. I'm killing the rest.
It's a sad day right now. Pride, they have to pick up this pistol round. And DarkPassage is clear they're just having fun with it, right? They're just enjoying it for the time being. And that is when a team is most deadly. They feel confident as they rush towards the A site. This is exactly that. As Sasuke and Mini, they pick up 1 frag between them. Manisa's to try and refrag. Able to get 1, but he's going to get tagged down low on the peak. Leaving it now at a 3-on-4. They continue the aggression though in towards the B site for the retake. Mako and Mini, they mop up the last 2 attacking players, leaving it all on Manise. He has found 2 frags. But he's tagged down to a mere 8 HP. He's limping in towards the A site and also in towards Calyx's crosshair. Nice, easy frag, and that's going to be DarkPassage, well, ex-DarkPassage, sorry, to pick up that pistol, and that should carry them through to a 14-4 scoreline.
Yeah, this is where things are pretty problematic now. Because you win that pistol, you get up to 7 rounds, you get some economy going. Hey, Pride can pull that one back. They're only 4 rounds behind. You lose that round, now you're in a big bit of bother. You've got to try and win this round with the pistols, otherwise you're ecoing next. They hit 14. Okay, I think this is over. So, big round coming in. Very aggressive pushes already. Woxic has managed to get himself into vents. Will trade back the initial kill. Going to try and take some long-range duels and fails. And actually, the man advantage has now gone over to the CT side. Huge amount of potential for them to actually pull something off. The rifle will in fact be dropped, and now this is getting a little bit scary for the T side at least. Calyx will try and trade 1 back, but now it's all on Mini.
Yeah, and here we go. It's all going to be on kind of the star player for ex-DarkPassage, try and clutch this one out. The youngster. Oh, well. The comedic timing of that. And, you know, the sad part of that is ex-DarkPassage, they went into that round with just these huge hulking balls, and it's very quickly been deflated by the pinprick from Pride. And as a result, we're going to see that confidence kind of knocked out of them a little bit here. They have to go for the 4 spy. It's going to be Tech 9s and armor, the order of the day. And they're going to get punished, and they should do, for being that cocky.
Yeah, we saw a very safe second round come in from Pride with their AKs. The one that we just saw from DarkPassage was very, very confident, and so is this, the lineup! Lars is going to get 2, almost a 3rd, shutting down that vent push very, very quickly. I think the bomb may even be dropped as well. Yeah, that... Oh, it's actually dropped down the vent. That's not going to be helpful. I think they have actually managed to get back to it. Didn't expect the players to continue to push through the vent after the amount of damage that was done, and Calyx has actually dropped down. So, bomb plant, didn't expect that to happen after the beginning of that round, and, well, now XDP have got to try and defend it. Calyx in a good position with this Tech 9, but Luz is there again. 3rd kill of the round for him. Make that a 4th. Oh, no, actually, Morales will get it. Mako now from behind, but this is a horrible position to be in. Just tries to save the UMP, and Minis will finish him off as well. So, only 1 player dropped. Nice round from Pride, but I'm a little bit surprised they got a bomb plant.
Yeah, no, they definitely shouldn't have had a bump on. I mean, it's not really gonna, it's gonna get them a better buy in the round after this. They could go for an aggressive force, and seeing as they're feeling fairly cocky, it wouldn't surprise me if they try and go for something. You know, maybe if it is just buying down, for example, on Woxic, maybe like a Deagle and armor or something. Or, yeah, PT50 armor, fair enough. So just gonna be buying down a little bit on the players that can't afford it. We could have seen them go for almost a Gambit-esque strat. It would have been interesting to see Woxic buying up armor and an AK, still having enough to buy in the next round. But he's someone who you really want to have that AWP on, so it does make sense for him to keep, the greater economy on his team. So they slow things down. You can see DarkPassage, they're kind of leaning away from the very adventurous, shall we say, attitude that they employed, and are now taking a more kind of strategic, slower-paced approach.
These will be sat outside. Has to be a little bit careful not to lose his head to these pistols. We've already seen it on the other side. Push, well, towards Morels isn't going to achieve too much, and this is looking relatively clean at the moment from Pride. Important stuff. This is what I spoke about after the pistol round, saying they needed to get that going. They've actually managed to do it a little bit later. Obviously, still a couple of players that can drop them at this point in time, and I feel like Exus may be the one that should be going a little bit more aggressive. Only has a Mac 10. Wouldn't be a huge loss. Calyx, Itchy, he's going to get a kill. That's something at least. A rifle dropped. Won't get a second. Reitz will finish him off. But now the difference is only 5. Now this is something that Pride can actually work with. We've definitely seen CT teams pull back from this sort of position. But the buy will now come in for ex-DarkPassage. They're going to have that AWP onto Woxic. He's going to be looking for Maniz outside. But Maniz has an AWP of his own.
The only problem with, the emotional kind of side of this is the higher you are in your emotional roller coaster, the further you fall. And I feel like the tilt is much worse when you were in the lead than coming down from it. Maniz just going to be completely ruined towards outside Woxic. Able to dispatch of him. You can see Exus rotating on round. But what hell, does find some good damage out of Mini. That nade might be enough from downtown. No, not going to be enough to equalize this out. And they've actually got to get up and towards heaven. It's like at this point, DarkPassage, they just can't get rid of them. They're infesting everywhere. There's all of the sites, all of the rafters, and Pride clearly not up to the job of exterminating it. 13-7 now as DarkPassage. They have their resurgence. They pick up their round on the rifles, and the economy of Pride now not going to be looking too great.
Yeah, they're going to get themselves a buy on the board, but if they are to lose this round, that will likely be the game. So they really need to pull something out here. Woxic just going to go for this peek once again. It's Luz actually the closest to him. They've sort of abandoned the outside area. He will fall back a little bit. Luz is actually going to go back into main, and well, they've pretty much just abandoned all outside at this point. The AWP has actually been switched over to ramp, so it is just sort of a rotational position, just going, okay, we can't do this, unfortunately. The A split has just come in. They've used that outside. They've managed to get all the way onto the site. Mini with 2 opening kills as well. And the 2 remaining players, what do you do here? I guess you just save. Mako is going to find one of them, trying to hunt him down. Actually, Morels has dropped the bomb.
And this is where DarkPassage is going to find themselves in a very horrible position. Morales could be able to lock it down. He's going to be able to find himself a second, but the trade does come through. Still, now it's a 1 versus 2, and Maniz, he's going to go for this. He has got that AWP to play around with. He's already found himself 1 frag. He's got to get the triple to clutch it out. Bomani just going down, though. Calyx up in heaven. They're not in the best place to try and trade this out, because Calyx isn't going to be going for the peak. They don't have info as to where he is just yet. If Sasuke peeks wide and finds the damage, oh no, missing that shot. This is probably all over. He has to fall on back, and he's just going to look to save. Doesn't have the best situation to retake that. They knew where he was. They had the info. They tagged him down low. And look, Sasuke's going on the hunt. He pushes back on in. So a nice read on that. But now he kind of risks dying to the bomb, and he might be trying to go for the ninja. And oh no! Oh no, Maniz! You jammy!
No!
Jammy, man! They're so far away! No
way!
What's going on? DarkPassage, why would you do this to yourselves? 13-8 is Pride. He gets the ninja.
I can't. This game is an absolute, I want to say joke. This is insane. This is ridiculous. Maniz with the balls of steel. They're dragging behind him on the floor at the moment because he just walks back in. What, 8 HP? I'm going to ninja this bomb. I'm out of here, guys. Yeah, he died. Who cares? That is a ridiculous play. But Woxic, he's not happy. He's found the pick.
That's the thing, though, man. It's like ex-DarkPassage, they keep throwing it away, and they're very confident. The thing is Pride are catching up with them. They need to just get these rounds on the board. It's, you know, it's great the fact that they're having fun playing this brilliantly, but you know, we've already seen that Pride, they're definitely not lacking some big, hefty, swollen balls of their own. And well, Mini just gonna be walking out into Manise's crosshair. Gonna get guillotined early on, equalized back out on 4-on-4. They have got control of ramp, but other than that, you know, they're not really gonna be able to make ground elsewhere. Morel's gonna be locking down B. Should be able to make the call for the rotation if he spots these players out. The trade should come through, but Manise outside next to fall as Mako finds him. Gonna be putting it back into a 3-on-4. X is just holding hell for the time being. And he's kind of trapped up here until he has some idea as to where ex-DarkPassage are going to be taking this control of ramp.
I feel like the big problem at the moment for Pride is DarkPassage are just able to take anywhere they want on the map. Like,
yeah,
every time they're making some sort of sacrifice. Like, let's let them have outside. Let's let them have ramp. And it's just not working. You can't just keep giving up positions on the map like this. And if it wasn't for huge mistakes coming in from the XDP guys, this map would be over by now. That round should never have happened. They shouldn't have even got back down to that sort of position. The bomb wandered outside. That's madness. But the bomb, this time, will actually be planted. But it's a 3v3. Still possible for Pride.
Yeah, the rotate is taking a very long time, though, as they look to try and scavenge some better weapons to head into this. And I think already they've let time get away too far. They're just going to save, yeah. It took too long for the rotate to come in. XDP going to be in great after plant positions after so long. Maybe we'll see the return of the Great Ninja. But, you know, I doubt it.
I don't think they'll let that happen again.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I wouldn't surprise me if, you know, we just see, like, Woxic, he opts to just go down in a fiery explosion just to make sure that no one, you know, that never happens again. The thing is, right, and it comes back to what you're saying, they wouldn't continue to play this cocky. They wouldn't continue to be so confident if they didn't, like, know that they can't beat Pride. And it comes down to what you're saying. They pick an area of the map. They say, we want outside. And, you know, lo and behold, 10 seconds later, they have outside, and then they just go wherever the hell they want. It doesn't feel like Pride are in control at all. They get forced out of every location they try to hold. They're always sacrificing somewhere to lock down somewhere else. And it's got to the point now where DarkPassage are fully aware of this. Look, they're going to be heading outside. No one's here to hold it down. And as a result, it's a free outside again. We're probably going to see Mako push up towards heaven and kill, like, 2 guys over towards the A site.
The only difference this time is the CT side are actually taking map control themselves. They pushed all the way around the back. They know exactly. They have to know exactly where the T's are going. The only problem is, can they actually do anything about it? Going to push out. Exus is going to lose his life. Man advantage once again. Luz will be able to trade one back. They do have control of a couple of positions. The problem is they're now losing control further up the map. Reitz is now going to go aggressive. Can he finish off Sasuke? Yes, he can. So it's just a weird game. It's almost as if they want to start on the T side and the CTs, well, the T's want to start on the CT side. They just swap sides at the beginning. And they left the bomb behind.
Are we even spectated the DarkPassage Pride game? Is this just global matchmaking? What is happening?
I don't even know.
Bomb is going to be down. Reitz is able to drop Mini. And they might be hold on to this, live to fight another day. Manise might be trapped in the corner, though, and that's going to be a real issue. But Mako just leaves Calyx to die. He's like, you know what, mate? Good luck. Good luck to you. Best of luck.
They both have Molotovs there as well.
Yeah, they could actually just kill him in one foul stoop, but instead, they want to be the... Oh, he's actually going to sneak around. This is so awkward. You guys are getting outplayed so hard, and you came into this thinking you're the kings, and now suddenly Manise has gone around.
No.
Find one. He does great damage on a Calyx. It's a 1v2. There's 15 seconds left. Calyx has to literally... I don't even know how he could do this. Some insane shot to be the only way. Oh my god, they weren't even watching the bomb. Luz, are you aware of what you've just let happen?
Oh, look at Reitz,
A man has come and stolen it. Reitz is going to be able to get him on the cross, though. So it doesn't matter. 14-9. What even is this? What's happening, Tom?
You want me to explain that? I can't explain that. How does it happen that you take the whole of outside and then the bomb gets dropped towards your spawn? Like, that makes no sense. The bomb should be with the majority of the team, or at least with someone who's playing in a sort of role that's smart. Like, that's madness. And the way the CTs played that round, they abandoned the whole of outside, and the T's didn't capitalize on it. It's just really weird. Now we've got a ramp push in. There's no on ramp. What is going on?
I don't know. I don't even know how to cast this.
How is there no on ramp?
It's just turned into you and I being angry. But anyway, here's Luz. He's trying to lock down B. He goes out for the peek because they don't check anything. And he's going to get one. Falls on back. Tag through the door. He's still locking down the area. Going to get two. Finally dealt with. The frag. Oh, Mini through the smoke. All right, mate. Sure thing. Going to be going for the second. But Reese is there to trade things out. 2-on-3. Mako's already come around from behind. But Manise says no way. Shuts him down. It's all on Sasuke. He's over towards Toxic. Well, in comes Manise.
How do they win that round?
And Tom, I don't know. I've just stopped asking questions and have decided that this is what we are witnessing. This is the pinnacle of Counter-Strike Global Offensive Esports. Brought to you live by Starladder. Don't forget, I'm Harry. Joining me is Tom.
Exclamation mark cast in the chat. What?
Yeah, to go ahead and to have a look at us. But, you know, I tell you who I want to look at a little bit more. This game, everyone is doing really dumb stuff, but still, I mean, they're good players. They actually are. They're fantastic. It's very weird what we're seeing though, and I feel like neither side really taking it all that seriously right now, and I don't know why that is. But here we go. Sat's going to kick things off, and he's dropping out Luz. A nice swift headshot to kickstart this round. Quickly equalized by Exus towards outside as Mako looks to try and go aggressive. They do have control here though for the first time in a long time, and it pays off.
Huge weapon advantage, of course, coming in for Pride. We are actually seeing an eco come in as well, or a few pistols. I would even go as far to maybe even call this a modern day eco. We don't really see too many just straight Glocks, and actually Pride, they look reasonable. I think the biggest problem is we've actually seen it almost every time. They either give up outside or they give up ramp. Hello, Mini.
Mini versus.
Oh, he's got an AWP as well.
His twin female sister towards outside. And here we go. Mini's now got himself an AWP. And this is where he becomes a huge threat. You know, the AWP is one that you don't really need to have armor for. If he misses that first shot, he's dead anyway. So he's going to be a real threat, but instead opting to use the Deagle because he's Mini. He's got an XD at the end of his name. You can tell the kind of guy he is in matchmaking. And oh, he's going to get spotted by Morels. And there we go. Going to be dropped.
I think it sounds more like an introduction. Like, this is my nephew and this is my niece.
Oh, Tom. Tom, no. Your jokes have slipped down to the standard of this game. It's 14-11 though, and finally, ex-DarkPassage, they can buy on down again. Maybe this is why they're ex-DarkPassage. Maybe they're going to be ringing up the owners of DarkPassage tonight, and so they are their ex, and just be like, please take me back. I know, it was one game on nuke. I didn't mean it. It was one ninja fuse too many. Please.
Well, they look like they're actually going for a setup now. We got Woxic breaking all the windows. We know that that's normally just to make sure that you have all the nades ready. They can bounce into different positions. If you miss a window, it can completely ruin all of your nades, so make sure you smash all of them. Use your Glock. You're probably not going to use it for anything else. However, Morel's aggression again. We'll only get one, though. Mini, quick on the trade. He's still having a good game. Maybe some sketchy plays coming in from the team, but he's still hitting them headshots, and that's what's important. Currently top of the board with Mako. Woxic actually down the bottom at the moment, which is quite surprising. Obviously, Pride now only 3 rounds away from equalizing. However, Mako is still going to bring this back to a 4 versus 3. 2 players currently on the A site. And this leaves it all down to Manise with the AWP outside. But he has done the job. Mako does seem aware of his position. And this next kill could be absolutely vital as to the way the round goes.
Mako first. No, Manise goes to Peaky, but he's going to have his head removed from his shoulders. And here we go. Reeds has to try and refrag. He does so, but it's going to lose a lot of HP in the process. They peek on out, but he's still on top of half lane. This perfectly. Sasuke's next to fall. It's Woxic versus Reeds. And Reeds is only 16 HP. He's looking a little worse for wear. There's Woxic in with the peak to secure match point for DarkPassage. I was scared I would have to break out my adjusted version of the Fray How to Save a Life. The Fray How to Throw a Game, brought to you by ex-DarkPassage. I've got Woxic on the guitar, Calyx lead vocals.
Sponsored by Power?
Yeah. Oh, God, no. Here we go. 15-11. Pride's economy somehow ruined, and as a result, ex-DarkPassage should be able to pick this one up. A game that should have been over several rounds ago, finally drawing to a close. At least you'd think, unless Luz kills everyone with a CZ, which at this point isn't out of question. Exus towards outside, going to be dealing with Mako, and suddenly it's the man advantage towards Pride as they look to fight back once again.
Toxic with the AWP. They've all gathered up this time. They are just basically scoping out all angles. Like, okay, they could be anywhere. We know they like to be aggressive. And for that exact example, look at the position of Morales. He's just going to be trying to play the angle game with this UMP. We know how effective this SMG can be. And he's going to find the pick, leaving it down to a 4 versus 2. They've managed to retrieve a rifle as well in the form of Luz. And this is getting a little bit scary now for the DarkPassage side. And I say a little bit, I mean a lot. They push right into the blender. Woxic will get down into the vents with the AWP. Now, their money is not in a good state. They've got to try and do something in this round. Woxic, decent position. Whoa, a scope here, managing to find the kill. This brings it to a 3 versus 1, but they're already making their way down. The Molotov can go into vent, but he's still got players behind him. And there goes Morales to finish him off.
Now it's 15-12, and I think DarkPassage kind of wishing that, I don't know, maybe they didn't get Ninja defused, maybe they didn't go for loads of wrong decisions, and you know, now they find themselves with Pride 3 rounds behind them. Pride going to be accruing a nice bank as well, because DarkPassage have no money left. They're going to have to just take the eco. They're going to be rocking out with their Glocks out, trying to make something happen here, heading towards outside. Well, here we go. Woxic, first man out. His little Glock flapping in the wind, and he goes out for the peek. Is going to have Manice trying to focus him down on that orb. Peeks up towards rafters. Manice going to get tagged down low. We can't land these shots. And the Glocks, they're getting closer. He should be watching out, a little bit scared even, because these Glocks at close range are a terrifying prospect. Luz is to come on through to back him up. Manice, though, showing that actually the orb going to be the more terrifying up close and personal. Manice peeks out wide, and Sasuke might get taken out here. That shot going to be wishing past his head, but Luz not going to be missing the same opportunity. It's all on Woxic once again. 1v5. He's managed to get in towards B, though, and he might be able to get a plant at least.
He can't do this without making a sound cue. That's the big problem that he has. And never mind, he's not even going to get the opportunity. Morales will make it for him. That's the only problem with that B site. You either have to open the door or you have to smash the windows. Either one will have given away his position. So no sneaky beaky nonsense from him in this round. 15-13. Who would have thought?
I don't know, Tom. Who would have thought any of this would have gone this way? You know, who'd have thought there would have been a Ninja defuse in a 1v2? Who'd have thought... Tom, I don't know. Who'd have thought a lot of things? You know? Why... Yeah, anyway.
That's summing up this game in a nutshell.
And, well, Manice first to find that frag, and either Sasuke, it's already going to be the man advantage going the way of Pride. You can see they are going to be hold up for the time being, just kind of pinned over here and towards radio. Just waiting before they commit to anything. They are smashing the glass. Utility should be raining on in. Mini and Calyx to try an entry. Now, these are the two players for the job. And as Luz drops down in towards B, this might actually be their golden ticket in towards a site. He can come up vents, which is an angle that can just destroy people as they push on in, because they don't bother checking the quick rotate up vent. Flash goes out, but here comes Mini with the Tech 9. It's going to be roaring into action as he moves down the site. Finds one, Calyx finds the next. And all of a sudden, things aren't looking great here for Pride, but saying that X is quick to refrag, deals with both of those entry fraggers. Bomb goes down on the site. It's a 3-on-2, and Luz trapped down him towards vents. Going to be shooting up any second now. You can see Mako has to check the flank spots out Manice, and he can take him down here, potentially deal with... Oh no! At the same time, Woxic able to get one. He's still looking down the site, though. No one's been able to deal with him just yet, and that bomb timer fast ticking away, going to get Molotov down to the site, but that means Manice can't push on through to help out, and all of a sudden it gets turned onto a one-on-one. Woxic might be able to do this here. He does get spotted, but he's just playing it safe, playing around the site, and oh no! Pride go down. Woxic with the triple, 16-13, and they've pulled the cat out of the bag. I don't know, Tom. I don't know what we just saw.
Yeah, an absolutely ridiculous display in this first match. It will be 16-13. Woxic pulling it up big into that final round. I think we do have plenty to talk about, but I'm not sure how much of it we want to talk about. A lot of crazy rounds, Ninja defuse, knives in the back, teammate damage, and this is all before, you got to remember this, this was the map that both these teams have had a long time to practice. We're going to Inferno!
You guys thought this one looked like a game of MM. Well, let me tell you, this is the first pro game on Inferno, because no one else has added it to their leagues yet, because teams haven't had enough time to practice. So I severely doubt we're going to see anything